Dustin. A little time to reflect. I know you said walking past press row there that you thought the fight was closer than they scored it. It seemed like, you know, you're getting celebrated, but felt like you were more annoyed and like pissed off about the result.
Yeah, man, obviously I wanted to win. Max is a great fighter, tough competitor. I just felt, you know, being inside the eye of the storm, it felt a lot closer to me. You know, I really thought it might have been 2-2 going into the fifth. Mike Brown checked the scorecards when we got to the locker room, and I think the judges gave me different rounds. So I don't know, you know, I think all the judges gave him the second round. I thought I almost had him out. He hurt me too, but I thought my shot was, when I followed up with elbows, I was cracking him. He told me in the medical tent, he said, man, you had me out. We couldn't hear the bell. So it felt, you know, being in the fight, it felt like a lot closer than that. When I heard the judges 49, whatever, I was like, no way. You know, it's closer than that. But like the man says, it is what it is.
Does any part of you regret going for the guillotine and not continuing to punch in that?
When I had him hurt? Yeah. Nah, never.
Had to do one last one.
One last one. And damn, I really thought that was going to be the one, man. I had him hurt, but he rolled to his back, and I just couldn't control it.
Yeah. And any more immediate thoughts about what you could have done different? I know that'll evolve over time as you watch it back. But
I felt like, well, going into the fifth, I thought it was close. I thought it might have been 2-2. So winning the fifth, I could have put myself in harm's way a little bit more. Maybe I would have got finished. Maybe I would have finished him. You know, I could have took more chances in the fifth. But up until that point, I was playing it. I was trying to fight like a professional, be smart. It seemed like he was waiting to counter me with his right hand every time I would come in. But the crazy thing is, he never threw it. But he felt like his footwork and his movement was ready to throw that right hand. So I didn't want to take too many risks getting countered. I didn't want to miss and get countered. And he had already hurt me in the second round. So, man, I fought, and I thought I was doing well. You know, I thought it was close rounds every time. So looking back, hindsight's always 20/20. But I thought I fought smart, and yeah, I tried to win, man. I really did.
How does your body feel right now? Because he was kicking you and punching you a lot in the body.
Yeah. The shots he was landing with his right hand, those long right hands were hitting the right side of my body. I'm fine. The kicks, though. The kicks on my left side's a little banged up.
And I know like the dream scenario would have been get your hand raised, never lose 2 in a row, all those things. Does any part of you digest this and think like it didn't go your way, and that's even more reason that shows like you're making the right decision to walk away right now?
No, I thought I freaking competed with the best guy in the world, and I thought it was close. I felt good in there. Cardio felt good. My movement felt good. But and I wanted that. I wanted to go show that I can compete and make it close to where I can say, hey, look, I'm still at the top of my game. I'm going out because I want to. You know, I wanted it to be a war and a drag 'em out fight. And yeah.
Well, I think you proved that. And I mean, from everything that's happened this week, the way you've been celebrated, like I'm sure you can't sit up there feeling like a loser by any stretch. This was such a win, the whole experience, it feels like.
It was amazing. I really felt appreciated this week. And I know I said it a couple times in interviews when people ask me about it. I never look back or look at it on like a third person before this week and say, wow, I did accomplish a lot in the sport, or, you know, I did make people feel certain ways and make people inspired. I didn't think about that, but the love and the outreach this week has been incredible, and I really feel it, you know. I really feel it, and I'm just thankful that people got inspired or people follow my journey, and you know, you can do anything you put your mind to, and that's what I want my story to be. I want people to realize that no matter where you come from, if you believe and work hard enough, you can make dreams happen, you know, because I'm just a kid out here walking out with Lil Wayne, living his dreams, man, crazy. Putting on wars, you know, with the best guys in the world. What a beautiful life. It's a beautiful story because I know the author. That's what it is.
Dustin, now it's funny to see you up here frustrated about this result because now you're retired. Are you going to have to get less competitive, or are you going to be one of those sort of dads at the soccer game shouting from the sidelines and continue on?
Dude, nobody wants to get in a fight of the night on the soccer sideline, man. I promise you that. I still got it. We'll see, man. I have a lot of stuff to keep me busy, but nothing's ever going to fill this. You know, nothing's ever going to fill that void of walking out to a crowd, trying to will you to win and fighting one of the best guys in the world for 25 minutes. I don't know if anything's ever going to feel that way again, but hopefully I can find something. You know, I would love to stay connected to the sport, keep working for ESPN. You know, the sport has given me everything I have in life, and I would love to watch and watch other kids chase their dreams and put my 2 cents in what I think I learned through this decades of doing this.
Obviously, when you're in the fight, it's about to start, you're getting your introduction, you're focused, but as you went in the cage, was there a part of you to think, I have to take this in because this is the last time?
Yeah, all week I've been thinking about that. I need to be in the moment. I want to feel it all. Because a lot of times you can get, lose those moments because adrenaline and your blinders are on, your tunnel vision. Adrenaline's pumping so hard, you're just focused on the task at hand. But I was able to, as much as I could, just embrace it all and really breathe it in. And wow, I'm here in my home state. And I just felt the love, in my home state with a great opponent who's going to bring it. And that's exactly what happened,
Congratulations on an amazing career.
Thank you, sir.
What was it like just coming out and hearing the fans and just that moment where an entire arena is rocking for you in your retirement fight?
It felt incredible. It felt unreal. It felt like a movie, I felt like I was just watching it from outside, It was really cool. I felt the love, and then turning back and seeing Wayne, walking with us, and it's just, I'm from the streets of Louisiana. Like, I grew up listening to No Limit and Cash Money, and the guys walking with me, it's crazy.
And I'm sure you knew if the fight got to the end of the 5th round, that point was going to come. What was kind of going through your head in that moment?
Yeah, and then I was like, I wanted to do it, That's why I kept looking up at the clock. I said, when are we doing this? Yeah, you saw me looking at the clock a few times. I'm like, well, okay, that's 25 seconds left. I said, not time yet. Then we pointed down. I said, okay, I oblige. And then he hit me with a few shots. And I said, okay, we're going to wrestle a little bit. Let me clinch up. There's only 8 seconds left.
And just, seeing the video that the UFC put together for you and doing that last, walk out of the octagon, what was going through your mind?
The video, man. The video was tough to watch just because this whole journey means so much to me. And seeing my mom and my first martial arts kickboxing coach on there, I didn't even know they got him to film that. Seeing my daughter talk, really pulled at my heartstrings, man. I'm just thankful that I have this journey and documented and people followed along for so long. It's amazing. Not that I didn't feel like I meant that much to the company. I just never thought about it. I didn't know that people cared that much. I thought I was just fighting and feeding my family. I didn't know I had touched so many people until this last week. Thank you.
Dustin, at the end of the fight, you had the Acadiana flag draped on you. Talk about being able to represent the Acadiana area on such a large stage for the career that you've had here in the UFC.
Yeah, I've been representing Acadiana since I got into before the UFC. I used to, when we had our own shorts, I used to print the flag on my waistband, and I've been carrying the flag for the Cajun people because that's who helped me become who I am. That's why I moved back to Louisiana when my daughter was born, because I wanted to raise her in a place that has a sense of community and supports local. It's different. Lafayette, Acadiana area is different than anywhere else. I've traveled the world, and I love home. And I wanted my daughter to be raised around that. So, and I'd love to continue representing however that can be with the foundation, helping these other young fighters chase their dreams. Fighting has changed my life. And I come from Lafayette, Louisiana. It felt like, 18, 19 years ago, it felt like the bright lights in the UFC in Las Vegas were so far away. It was a pipe dream. And I made it happen through hard work. So I know these other kids can,
Dustin. What's up, champ?
What's up?
Question. What you got to say to everybody back in the 337?
Man, I can't wait to come home. I'm driving home, not flying flying home after a hard fight. I'm driving home. Me and my daughter already got a plan. We're going to watch a movie, pop some popcorn.
Nice.
Just be a dad. Get back to the 337. I got to fly in with my team Saturday a week ago before driving here to New Orleans. So that was kind of nice. We had a few days to kind of decompress before fight week started. And I was gone 9 weeks, almost 9 weeks in South Florida training for this fight. So I just want to get home and be a dad, put on some long white socks, barbecue something, cut my grass, get back to normal life.
And what bourbon are we drinking to celebrate the retirement?
Man, we got to see. Probably Rare Stash. We got to see.
There we go.
Maybe some Blantons. I don't know.
All right. Thank you, champ. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dustin, is there a part of you that is more excited to, lay these gloves down and get back out in the community? I know you're going to have the backpack drive next month, and I know that's a big part of your year getting to help all these underprivileged kids in the Acadiana community.
I'm sorry, what was the first part of the question?
So, are you excited to enter this next step of your life where you can really put your focus into the community and your family and your personal life?
Yeah, I put fighting's such a selfish sport. I put so many things on hold to chase these dreams and do these camps, and I just want to get home and get on a normal schedule with my family. Get the backpacks. I have such a great, incredible team and community back home. The board of my foundation and family, friends, they all went in the warehouse when I was in camp and packed these backpacks, maybe 1,400 backpacks filled with school supplies. They did it all, and I wasn't there, and it's amazing that the foundation has grown that big. And August 5th, we'll set it up, first come, first serve, and get the families who need the school supplies so the kids can have everything they need for the school year. That's important to me. I just don't know what it's going to take to keep this thing going as strong as it has without this fight war memorabilia, because I've been auctioning off every fight and using this platform I have, building these fights to represent Louisiana and be a megaphone for the people whose voice isn't heard. So we'll see what kind of pivot we're going to have to do to continue raising money and making things happen. But that's always a passion of mine. I just spoke to Max. He's involved with some stuff in Hawaii that he helps out. So I think we're going to link up and try to do something big. Just keep this going. Keep fighting the good fight. Trying to leave the world a better place than you found it. That's the goal.
Finally, as a homegrown kid, I know you've probably been over to this arena on a number of occasions. Do you think that anything that you've seen here in the past compared to the level of volume that you heard tonight from everybody here in Louisiana?
I didn't hear the second round. I didn't hear the bell at all. Zero. I think my coach said I was still throwing elbows and punches, and the door was already open. They were coming in the cage. I couldn't hear anything. No, it was crazy. It was crazy in there. Even before Max walked out, when they were still finishing my walk-in, it was like I couldn't hear my coaches talking to me, and they were standing right there on the cage in front of me. It's amazing. I love the support. But yeah, I've been to this arena a few times.
Thank you, Dustin.
Dustin, straight ahead. First of all, congratulations on an amazing career. As someone born and raised in Louisiana, thank you for being not an advocate just for the MMA, but for Louisiana also. And I got to ask, with everything going on this week, how were you able to just kind of focus on the fight once you got in there?
It's tunnel vision. Like I'm just muscle memory. Once that door locks and that bell rings, it's go time. I'm not thinking about anything else. The distractions more came this week, not fight night. It was more this week of people reaching out and all the interviews and trying my best to represent the state of Louisiana and talk about what we have going on in the culture here. Just getting pulled a lot of different ways, but fight night felt like any other fight night. It was a lot louder, and I felt the love, but it was no distraction at all.
And finally, with all the kids in the stands, what piece of advice would you give to the next Dustin Poirier that's out there and was watching you tonight?
To chase your dreams, whatever's in your heart. Don't listen to the critics. Don't listen to the outside noise. Really, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, you can make it happen. You really can. If you have the hard work, dedication, you can. Like I said in the press conference, you can move mountains. Things that seem impossible are possible if you really believe and work for it. Anything. No dream's too crazy.
Thank you.
Hey Dustin, congrats on a great career. You're an inspiration to all the young fighters out there. I have a question. Can you talk about American Top Team and how it changed you as a human and as an athlete, the people you met, the people you trained together? Can you say something?
Yeah, it's a great American Top Team is an incredible gym. I moved there in 2012. I flew out, I spent a week there, flew home, and that same week I was home, I got a U-Haul, packed all my stuff, got a car hauler on the back of the U-Haul and drove there. Just completely left home. I said I need to be here. I need to be training with these guys. Back home I had great coaches, great training partners, but they were like part-time. It was just like a hobby for them. When I went to American Top Team, the mats and the coaching staff was filled with people who do this for a living, and I knew I needed to be there. And yeah, I've been there since 2012 with the same guys who are in my corner tonight. It's more than just coaches and training partners. It's family. We've been through so many fight weeks, so many ups and downs, so many celebrating nights, so many crying nights, that we have a bond that will be forever.
My last question is, do you remember the moment you first fell in love with the sport, and what would that young Dustin Poirier think about the person that's sitting right there? on the stage?
Yeah, I remember, I started boxing when I was like 17, then I started fighting MMA when I was 18, and I just remember falling in love with the one-on-one competition that I couldn't point the finger at anybody but myself if something went right or wrong, and I just loved that, because I always feel like I can count on myself, and I fell in love with it from an early age, and if I can talk to that kid, I would tell him it's gonna all be worth it, it's gonna all be worth it in the end.
Thank you. You're a legend. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Dustin, thank you for your career and for the fight tonight and in the back here. So this was your last fight, but kind of going off that last question, I wonder if you have any recollection of your first fight. And I'm not necessarily talking about UFC or professional fighting. I'm saying any scrap in the schoolyard, anything that first kind of had that impact on you.
Oh, I got a bunch of those. I don't know the first one.
Is there one that sticks out?
I remember my first mixed martial arts fight ever. Yeah, one does. My nose is bleeding a little bit. One does stick out. My wife just, I remember it was in middle school. My wife just transferred to the school I was at from a different school, and it was like one of her first weeks at the school. I got into a fight, and I smashed the kid's head on the bricks, and his teeth went through his lip, and I got arrested and stuff, and she told me she went back home. We didn't know each other at the time. She told me she went home and told her mom that, like, some kid got arrested and all that. But I married her, so she married me then, so yeah, it worked out.
Thank you.
Dustin over here. Your wife Jolie has been by your side forever. What type of advice did she give you when she drove you to your first fight, and how has that advice changed?
Dude, I don't even know why I didn't have a car then. I might have been in between cars, and my car just broke. She had a car. She drove me to Texarkana from Lafayette, Louisiana, and I fought in a rodeo arena over there. She didn't know what I was doing. MMA wasn't really that cool back then. She was just supporting me. She was just supporting me chase my dreams. And yeah, I would wait for her to get off of work to use her car to go to the gym. I would ride a bike to work. And, me and my wife been through it all at a young age.
Dustin, 15 years ago during the filming of Fightville, you refused to call yourself a professional fighter because you weren't exactly, providing for the family at that time through fighting. And now, on the day that you retire, you accomplished that goal and so much more. How does that make you feel, man?
It makes me feel good. Fighting mixed martial arts was a vehicle to get me to a place I could only dream of, to get my family to a safe place. My daughter's college is secured, health care secured. I'm grateful that I was able to do all these things through chasing a dream. I was doing something I actually loved to do. It was never work. Even all these years later, getting ready for this one, knowing it was my retirement, it wasn't work. It was doing it out of love and passion. And that's what I'm kind of scared of moving forward, not to have that, to fall back on. Fighting was always, the gym fighting was always my safe place. No matter what's going on in my life, I can go to the gym and bleed and sweat with these guys in the whole world. Nothing else matters, so we'll see, yeah. Fighting has been so much to me.
Thank you, man. There's a lot of people that love you and appreciate you. I know, especially at ATT in Florida. You'll always have a place over there, man.
For sure. Thank you, man. Thank you, guys.